There is growing public support for marijuana reform. Among the supporters is New Jersey Senator Cory Booker, who recently announced the Marijuana Justice Act. It is a bill to legalize marijuana use on the federal level. Cory Booker says the bill is needed to cut down on overflowing prison populations due to drug charges. And Cory Booker also believes the so-called war on drugs targets certain communities.
We believe that states should be moving in the same way to legalize marijuana, to end racial disparities in enforcement of marijuana laws, and frankly, to end the disproportionate targeting of poor people.
But many say legalizing marijuana is not the answer, and it may just lead to more problems. Jeff Hunt is the VP of Public Policy at Colorado Christian University. He joins me now via Skype. So glad you're here to discuss this, Jeff. You're against legalizing marijuana. You say that it devastated Colorado. How so?
Well, first of all, thanks so much for having me on. Well, we heard many of the same promises in 2012 that Senator Booker is making today. And the truth is, since we've legalized recreational marijuana, none of those promises have come true. In fact, many of the opposite has taken place. Primarily, incarceration among youth, minorities, African-American and the Hispanic community have seen an increase in arrests among youth since we've legalized recreational marijuana.
How is that if it's legal? How can they be arrested, though?
Well, it has to do with youth. So you're looking at folks under the age of 21. So what recreational marijuana does, when you legalize it, just floods your communities with more drugs. And what has happened is that has poured down and trickled down into youth. And so there's been more arrests for marijuana possession among the African-American community and the Hispanic community, primarily with the youth, than there was before.
Because what about tax revenue? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so we were promised a lot of tax revenue, especially for schools. What we've seen is about $150 million in total tax revenue. But in a $13 billion budget, you're looking at about 1.5% of the total tax revenue that's come in. Now, a lot of that money was promised to schools. One of the largest school districts, their superintendent, said recently that the only thing they've seen from marijuana is more kids using marijuana, no tax revenue coming to them. And most of the money that's been sent to schools has been used primarily for small little construction projects, not new schools, not big construction projects, primarily just kind of small building updates.
If you could, would you make alcohol illegal? There are plenty of people who say, look, that's devastating to communities as well, and that's legal.
Well, I don't think there's much of a will to remove alcohol right now and make it illegal. But what we've seen here is an actual increase in alcohol use as a result of marijuana. So a lot of the proponents of marijuana will say, well, what about alcohol? Isn't alcohol worse? Well, what we've seen is an actual increase in the use of alcohol since marijuana has become legal here in Colorado. So if that's your argument, then you know, maybe we should limit marijuana if it's adding to more alcohol, too.
All right, this discussion, I wish we had more time. Jeff Hunt, thank you so much. Again, Cory Booker saying racial disparity is the main reason behind his bill. We appreciate your time. Thank you.